All right, Radio Zindagi ke pyare listeners, you know it all ke whenever this amazing music comes here, you know that this is the time for none other than Shah Peerally. Ji haan, we will be talking with him and you know about him. Fir bhi main kehna chahti hu that Shah Peerally is the founder, the president, the managing attorney of the Shah Peerally Law Group PC and is a member of the American Immigration Lawyer Association as well as the State Bar of California. You know, he is very, very passionate about the human rights, civil rights, social action and social services, and he has a very strong interest, साथ ही साथ of course knowledge of the political and legal system in the US. He formed his law group क्योंकि उनको लगता था कि there is a need, you know, there is a need for people to be helped, और इसीलिए तो the law group focuses on immigration law with an emphasis on employment based immigration and helps clients all over the US. जी हाँ, you can give us a call here. 510-770-1550 है हमारा नंबर पर. अगर आप इत्मीनान से एक अपॉइंटमेंट फिक्स करना चाहते हैं तो मैं आपको बता दूं कि फोन नंबर टू कॉल एंड फिक्स अपॉइंटमेंट इज 510-742-5887 and जरूर check करें peerallylaw.com and the YouTube channel that Shah has put, you know, like attorney on air, because you will get a lot of know-hows about the immigration system, what is happening and how it might affect you, how you can get out of your problems. A lot of solutions over there. So yes, Radio Zindagi listeners, dil tham ke baithiye because aaj bhi I guess that there will be some exciting news from Shah's side. So let me welcome none other than Shah Peerally. Hello Shah, how are you? Welcome to Radio Zindagi.
Hello everybody, this is Shah of course, and today I think we're going live both on Facebook and also on the radio, right?
Right.
So I hope everybody is doing well, and you know, I'm still non-working clothes. So I just wanted to say hello to everybody and thank you for listening. And I hope you can hear me properly. Right?
Yes, it's amazing, very
Great.
clear.
So today we're going to talk, of course, about immigration law. And sorry, I'm using my small screen. So we're going to talk about immigration law, and of course, as usual, anything I'm going to tell you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. So today we are going to talk about, of course, the Visa Bulletin. A lot of people are waiting on it, but we're also going to talk about the EB1A, which is a good option for many people who have been waiting on that situation of the Visa Bulletin, where there's a huge retrogression happening for India. And of course, so many things happening in the world right now. We are seeing many good and bad things happening, but at the same time, we are seeing a lot of firing and hiring. Let's put it this way, because I heard even Pepsi, I don't know how true is that, is going to lay off another 5,000 people. After we had Twitter, Facebook, Amazon, now we have Pepsi. But still, just to let you know, many other companies are absorbing people, especially IT consulting firms. They are really kind of taking over and hiring all those people. I know a lot of people don't trust IT consulting firms, which we are called placement companies. However, many times, they are doing an excellent job by helping people, not only maintaining the disparity, actually keeping the balance, but also at the same time helping people to get their own green card, because it's a lot easier to have the green card through them, because they have less layoff and less situations like we have in other bigger companies. So if you are going to an IT consulting company, I get this question all the time, how bad is it? Well, you should say how good is it, because a lot of people are working for those placement IT consulting companies, and they are still doing very well. They got their green card through them. And also the good thing, they're kind of recession-proof oftentimes. Not all the time, but they are, because they can shift from one company to another and shift you from one company to another. And companies also right now, they are not feeling comfortable hiring people directly, so they're using those placement companies to actually kind of cover for that. So having said that, I recommend that people also do their background check and the companies do their due diligence, because many times some companies, they are fooling people, they will want money and things like that. So those are not the companies I'm talking about here. I'm talking about genuine companies, okay? So be careful. And one thing as a matter of precaution, make sure they're not taking any money from you to actually file for your green card, because that's not allowed. Labor certification, you cannot pay for them, and in case you pay for them, you will end up by basically getting a situation of fraud and a denial. So all those things you need to be very, very careful, and you need to make sure that you have a good control who you are going to work with. But at the same time, they provide an opportunity for people who just got laid off to move to another company until ultimately they find a permanent job, or they stick with this IT company. That's up to you. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And now the other thing that I'm going to talk about is, of course, I had a predictions on the Visa Bulletin last week, and the problem is we are seeing that the situation is not going to be great, and I really kind of unfortunately, I'm checking if I can hear a noise. So it's really something that I don't want to kind of tell people if what is going to be the predictions, right? The predictions are not going to be great. And by the way, I wanted to do a shout out for some of my friends. I have my friend Mohsin, who is listening to us from Pakistan, and I have a few friends also from India listening. So shout out to them. And I wanted to tell people that now that the Visa Bulletin is getting delayed, we didn't see anything coming. It should come by any day now. We were expecting it last week. So if that's the case, then we are might see a retrogression, something that I'm hoping is not going to happen, or progression. If we are lucky, it might happen. But right now it's going to probably be a retrogression or a status quo. So the best case scenario is a status quo or the progression, of course, but I don't think there will be a progression. Calculating the visas, there will be nothing happening soon. As for EB3, we might see a slight move another 2-3 months, but you won't see really a big change. Big chance that everything will stay the same until around March, February, March of this year. So not this year, we have not reached 2023, so we are talking about 2022. So another thing that I wanted to tell people about is, of course, that the situation that we are having right now with people who want another options on their Visa Bulletin. Any caller, Rini? I think you're having a caller. I don't know. So I'll continue on that. I think we have a caller, right?
No, like it was like something else, asking about something else.
I thought we had a caller. So just to let you know, I will also start streaming on the YouTube video, so I'll give you an announcement. Please subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/c/Shah Peerally, or the handle is at attorneyonair. Attorney on air. And you can also go on attorneyonair.com, which is our landing page for the YouTube, which is a lot easier. attorneyonair.com. You will have all our YouTube videos there, and really it's, a lot of people are using that now. And I have been neglecting the YouTube for a few years now, but lately I have really kind of been putting a lot of stuff, because that's the best way to communicate with you instead of sitting down writing an article, which is time consuming, etc. So today we're also going to talk about the EB1, I think few weeks ago, Rini. So today I'm going to talk about basically one case which is very, very prominent in the EB1 case. and I know I will go into a little bit legalist today. It's called the Kazarian case. It was a case from someone from Armenia, a person who basically kind of, he came from Armenia and he filed for an EB1 and he got denied. So the case went to the Immigration Appeals Board and there it got denied too. So he went to the Federal District Court and then ultimately it went under the Ninth Circuit, which is the one that covers most of the situation for California. So not most, the whole California is covered under the Ninth Circuit. And the standard that the judges put in there is what really now is controlling the EB1 since 2010. So in this case, they reviewed the case and they still denied his appeal because of many reasons. So that case, I am not going to go into too much because we won't have that much time to cover it. But basically what they said is that it was not an error because he was appealing on the fact there was an abuse of discretion. And ultimately, the Ninth Circuit found no, the USCIS was right in denying him because he basically didn't meet the requirements. So in this case, what they did, they laid out the rules for EB1 kind of. Although it's there, they made it, they reaffirm it in a way that we as practitioners, as lawyers, we can actually use it in our favor to help other clients, right? So just to let people know, EB1 has a lot of advantage, right? One of the biggest advantage with EB1 is current, even for India. But the second one, the EB1A, is a self-petition. You don't need an employer to really get it. And what in this case they were saying is that when you do an EB1A, you have to prove first, either you have a first one thing, if you have it, usually that's pretty much good enough. If you have a Nobel Prize, if you have a Pulitzer Prize, if you won a medal in the Olympics. But not everybody has that. Most people don't, right? So then we fall back onto 10 points, which I have mentioned before, and I cannot mention them again now because I have a video on this, by the way, on the Attorney on Air, which I made. It was a 38 minutes video, so it will cover the entire show if I go into that. But you have to prove 3 points out of 10 that you meet those requirements. For example, awards, or publications, etc. But most people also don't have publications, right? So what do? One of the ways to prove that is the salary. If your salary is beyond the regular salaries, you can actually get the EB1. Of course, you have to meet 2 other requirements. But one important factor, which is kind of the subjective factor, that most people actually ignore oftentimes when they prepare their EB1A is the fact that you have to be of interest to the United States. Although you don't have to be of national interest, you have to be of interest to the United States. For example, you can be a hotshot in, I don't know, cutting sugarcane, right? But the problem is that the United States doesn't really care because we don't really produce sugarcane, right? So we need to find that. And plus you have to, one of the things that mistake is that you have to be continually in that field of endeavor, right? So you cannot just say, okay, back in the days I was a big hotshot scientist, now I'm working as a computer engineer, I want it under the scientist. Well, unless you continue in that field and you are updated, there's a time sensitivity that comes into play that many people ignore. Now, other people also have, just to give examples, I have clients who are computer engineers but are very good artists. And they have been recognized, they have showcased their work, etc., etc. They also can qualify under the EB1A. So you don't have to limit to your job. And one of the things also that you can have as engineers, for example, because these are the ones that we are getting mainly, is the fact that judge the work of others. When they say judge the work of others, doesn't mean in your course of work you have to evaluate the work of others. For example, let's say you work for Google and you're evaluating the people under you. That doesn't count. It has to be things outside your work, right? For example, the competition, which It's not going to happen really, but let's say an example, the competition comes to you and say, judge the work of that, or have this scholarly article, judge that work, right? Or co-author on an article. Those are things you can use, but you have to also make sure that you prove all this, okay? Anybody can say, I have this, I have that, but until you're able to prove it, and how do you prove that? This is where the entire secret of the case comes into play. The way you present that becomes why it is important to have a good lawyer by your side. A lot of people do it on their own and they are successful, but most people who do it on their own have difficulties because certain times they don't see things they have, and certain times they try to overstate what they have, and then it becomes almost like you're overselling and you cannot prove it, and guess what? You get a denial, right? So that's another thing. And other things also another mistake people do is they look at the broader spectrum of things, right? You have to go into details. You don't stick to, okay, example, let's say you're doing a lawyer's case. You say, I'm a lawyer, but there are millions of lawyers in the United States. But then you say, no, hold on a second, I'm an immigration lawyer. Well, that makes it less people, right? But then I say, you know what, I do only employment-based. That makes it less. And then someone will say, I do only EB1A. Guess what? You're not going to have many, and then you can compete in that. So you have to really eliminate the competition in this way to prepare your case. So I can go on and on, but this Kazarian case is a very, very Kazarian or Kazarian, I don't know how you pronounce it. It was issued in 2010, March 2010, and it was a Ninth Circuit Court case, which actually is a very interesting case that you should read if you're doing an EB1A. Of course, there are other cases that are named there that you will be able to use. So give us a call if you need help with the EB1A, 510-742-5887. It can be EB1A, EB1B, you name it. We'll be glad to help. Any question on your side, Rooney?
Yes, I actually have a friend who just texted me, and he wants to know that if anybody can file it while they are not in this country.
Not in the United States?
Yes.
Of course. In fact, that's another, which is very interesting. You can file an EB1A while you're sitting in China. You can be sitting in India. You can be sitting in Romania. In fact, I've done many, many cases, especially from Romania and Pakistan, and I think one from India, if I'm not mistaken, where we file all the paperwork from there. The I-140 gets approved, the case gets processed at the U.S. Embassy, and they come and get green card. The answer is yes. But the problem when we file it from outside is it's delayed on the third level, but it's not that bad, maybe 1 year more, because the processing at the U.S. Embassy takes longer time. However, if you have another visa, like an H1 or something, you can come in, we can do an adjustment of status once the I-140 is approved. The I-140 is a petition we file with everything, EB1A, EB1B, EB1c, EB2, EB3, right? But when we file it with the EB1A, it's very different because the supporting documents are more important than the form. And to answer your friend's question, definitely. You can be sitting in India, we can prepare your case, we can still do it. Of course, you have to qualify. We can do an assessment for you, then after the assessment, we'll tell you what are your chances, and then if you want to proceed, we can proceed.
Wonderful. So, Radio Zindagi listeners, yeah, that definitely helps. So, you know what you have to do. If you have any sort of immigration question, you can definitely give us a call. पर साथ ही साथ अगर आप एक अपॉइंटमेंट फिक्स करना चाहते हैं, तो नंबर नोट कर लीजिए 510-742-5887. I would personally say please visit Shah's website, which is peerallylaw.com, and attorneyonair. अगर आप YouTube में तो आप हमेशा you always check out videos. So please check Attorney on Air, because Shah, right now I think he's very regular. He's posting a lot of videos and they're very helpful. So that will answer a lot of your questions about immigration. And as you know that he is the founder, president and managing attorney of the Shah Peerally Law Group and has been in this field for so many years. And Shah, it must be around 20 plus years, right, for you in this field? 12, right?
19 years. 19 years of 20 years will be next year, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. So 20, yeah, of course.
At the same time, it is 19 years I have learned a lot. You always learn. It's never ending. Immigration have fluctuated up and down. And unfortunately, and fortunately also, we have seen good things. We have seen a lot of bad things in the beginning. And then when I started practicing, it was just when Clinton was leaving and Bush took over. Then ultimately, when Bush left, we had Obama. And during the Obama time, we saw a lot of good stuff happening under the H-4 EAD, which was a culmination probably of my career when we were able to change that law. Of course, I didn't change it myself, but we were able to push for the change. And also, we had many episodes of difficulties which I have been tackling with my team. The Tri-Valley students who were stuck in America in 2011. We had the UNMJ situation where they were trapped by a fake school. We had some major events that happened in my career that I will never forget. And we have, of course, the famous Trump who came into power and changed the whole dynamic. And also, we have seen also good things happening, a lot of wins, luckily, and I'm very proud of my team. We have won many cases, and until now, I think we have reached almost maybe 4,000 or 5,000 cases. And if I include the consultations, maybe I have advised almost 10,000 to 12,000 people. So it's a big track record for us, and we are proud to say that we have, in most cases, we have been successful. And of course, it's not a perfect track because there's no way it can be perfect, but it should be considered very close to that, and we're very proud of that. And for people who need help, right, and anything immigration, feel free to reach out to us, 510-742-5887. I don't know how much time is left for me. I think
we have around 3.5 minutes. Shah, I would love to mention to all of our listeners that Shah has offices in Newark, in San Francisco, in Washington, D.C. But Shah, I want to ask you, if some people who are not residing in those areas and they want to have a consultation or get your help, can they fix a Zoom meeting with you? How do they approach you because they are physically not in those places?
Well, in fact, since we had the COVID, most of my consultations are being done on the phone. So they can call my office, 510-742-5887. In fact, all my consultations now are being done on the phone because it's a lot easier, and most of my clients are out of state. So I have a lot of clients on the East Coast, the South, and also, of course, the Silicon Valley. But most people find it easier because the phones are secure and we can discuss. And anything you tell me as an attorney, it becomes attorney-client privilege. So nothing can be used really against you unless you yourself go and reveal it. So it's very safe, and you can call us 510-742-5887. Darshi will be glad to schedule something with us. And that is kind of very helpful for all of us because I can do consultation late at night, I can do consultation early in the morning, you name it, and at the same time, this gives me time to work on my cases during the day. So that's what I do. Most of my consultation are done early in the morning or late at night. So call us, we'll be glad to do that. And of course, if you need help on anything immigration, we've been talking a lot about employment-based, but we also do a lot of family-based. Marriage petitions, VAWA petitions, U visas, a lot of U visas. For those who don't know, a U visa it leads to a green card, right? What it is, it's for people who are victims of certain crimes, and a few of those crimes include domestic violence, especially people who are on H-4 visas who have been abused and who have been, but the police have to be involved. But VAWA, you don't have to have the police. These are for people who are married to green card holders, who are married to U.S. citizens, right? So we can help on those. And we do U visas a lot. We do a lot of VAWA cases, a lot of family petition, parents petition. That's another thing. A lot of people, their parents are here and they don't want to leave. We can file for their green card from here. and we have helped many of them. Please check our ratings. I had very good ratings in the past 6 years. I've been named a top attorneys by AVO, I think for the past 5-6 years. So just wanted to thank you all for listening. And today we did it live on Facebook. I hope I didn't look like I just woke up, which I did. So I just wanted to say thank you for listening and thank you for watching. We'll be back for another show next week. Thank you so much, Renee, for always being here for us. And please check our YouTube channel, attorneyonair.com, 510